If it is or if it ain't, it's going to come out. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration and juice. It is November the 13th, 2023, and today the topic is Gather. Happy Monday, everyone. Happy Monday. Yes. Like I said, today the topic is Gather, and your girl clicked the button at 8 o'clock on the dot. So yes, I'm recording later than usual. I've been up for a while. I woke up like a couple of times last night. I think around 10, then again around 2 this morning. Once I woke up this morning, your girl's mind was just brainstorming and engulfed in ideas. One of the things I was working on is Madam Miraculous, because today, well, not today, but this week is a Madam Miraculous week on Wednesday. At the church for the child care situation. And so I was getting some ideas together for that. And then this thing I know, after I finalized that idea, I was getting ideas for a way to combine my endeavors, something that I've been trying to figure out and whatnot. I think I might have another concept that might be beneficial. So kind of excited about that and everything. I know y'all gonna be like, girl, what you talk about? You're gonna start another brand? Like, what is happening? And I get it, you know what I'm saying? Maybe y'all don't understand again what the Lord is doing with me, for me, and through me. But it makes sense to me, you know what I'm saying? All of my endeavors, they intertwine and they go together in some way or fashion. And so this new concept is no different in my heart and mind. So we're going to see what the Lord do. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see what the Lord do. But I'm grateful for the ideas and whatnot that was coming my way. In the midst of me thinking about those different things, the word gather came into my heart and mind. And at first I'm like, okay, is this what I'm going to name my endeavor? You know, something like that. But ultimately I felt led to, you know, look into it because I thought maybe that's the name for the endeavor, you know. But eventually I guess received that it was today's topic and not necessarily the name or for the concept that I was working on. But regardless, I hope that it will encourage you and inspire you to hear all about this word gather today. Now, the interesting thing is I did look up the definition, but I didn't write it down. Matter of fact, the reason why I'm recording so late is because once I started to finally like clear my mind and start focusing on, you know, I guess receiving something for the juice and X, Y, and Z, I found myself like overwhelmed mentally. And so I took a bit of a break, and God, I guess, gave me some type of dream or vision or whatever the case is, where I'm not sure. I didn't even look up I looked up some of the things that I remember, but I didn't look up too much. But anyway, ultimately, once I woke back up and was, I guess, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, I started to look into gather again and whatnot, and everything was resonating and clear versus when I was trying to do it earlier and things were like jumbled up and my mind was all over the place. So, yeah, there could be a variety of reasons again why the Lord allowed me to, you know, do things this way or receive things this way today. But one, I'm glad that I took the time to, you know, again, woosah, have that break in between. I'm glad that I'm no longer confined to the restraints of a time. Again, because my whole thing at this point is just getting out the juice regardless of what time it is. So that's something, you know, I would say that's growth, because again, when I first kicked it off, the only reason why or maybe the main reason why some of the days I didn't do back in the day was because I woke up late or something like that, and then I was like, oh, no juice today. Well, hey man, look, I guess the Lord says juice can be every day. I do take that break on Sunday, but anyway, wasn't intending to go into that whole thing, but just addressing it, just making it known. But again, whenever you listen to this, will be right on time for you. I truly, truly believe that. So here we go, guys. Gather. So like I said, I did not write down the definition, but you guys can look that stuff up on your own if you need to do so. It was good to reflect on and everything like that. The first verse I feel led to share this morning is Psalm 122 and 1. It says, a song of ascents of David. I was glad when they said to me, let us go to the house of the Lord. Look, man, I can't lie. Like, y'all know I work at the church now and all that type of stuff. And it's a beautiful thing. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know how many of us can truly say we are glad to go to the house of the Lord. Like, there's some of us that are. Don't get me wrong. Again, there's a lot of people at Mountain West that seems truly, genuinely happy to be there, happy to serve, happy to, just come, whatever the case may be. It does seem like there's a lot of happy people glad to go, right? But then there's a lot of people that aren't so glad to go. I want to give a shout out to my husband right now because those of y'all that know me, my testimony, stuff like that, y'all probably already know that, he's not necessarily a church goer. But I will say that y'all have heard a testimony that he has gone way more this year than he went last year. And I'm praying for him. You know what I'm saying? That he sees the importance of going, that he, starts to be glad to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, he went with us yesterday. And obviously, again, going with us in this particular season means that he's sticking it out the whole day with me. Because again, I'm going to all three services because I'm working on all three services. And then I'm also helping out with the Christmas performance that's happening next month. And so, usually I'm hanging out around the area to then, start working with the kids around 3 after church and whatnot. And so, yeah, now, hey, my son, he's complete opposite. Anytime we getting ready to go to the church, he's excited. He's like, ready to go, X, Y, and Z, talks about it, X, Y, and Z. And that's interesting that I just thought about that because I did come across a verse this morning that talked about, how the little children were being brought to Christ and that the disciples was trying to, take them away. And then Christ was like, no, at the end of the day, if y'all all need to receive me as these children are receiving me. And so, yeah, we all need to be like my son, right? In this day and time, right? Let us be glad to go to the house of the Lord and things of that nature. We might not see the purpose. We might be like, why? What's the point? I got to drive somewhere. I could just tune in online. Don't get me wrong. Hey, I was getting fed, a lot online. You know what I'm saying? Especially during the pandemic. Everybody knows what happened, X, Y, and Z. And it wasn't that I didn't go because of the pandemic. I just was already used to being at home so much and was just allowing, I can't blame nobody else. I just was just getting my, I guess juice. I was getting what I was receiving through by doing the juice as well as listening to things online. And it's very convenient, but at the same time, haven't you noticed like a lot of times in life, right? When you're in a down space, you usually feel alone, right? And here's the thing about that. Like, I feel like the enemy uses this concept of isolation to get to us and bother us and take us down and use it as one of those things. Because what does the Bible tell us to do? It tells us to fellowship. It tells us to gather together, things of that nature. And a lot of us find ourselves saying, oh, we don't need the church, or we don't need that. We are the church. And yes, we are. You know what I'm saying? Each and every one of us are the church, right? But at the same time, too, there's some type of power in coming together. I shared with you guys earlier, or maybe like, what was that, last month when the movie came out? There's that verse. I'm going to be reading it to y'all today, but it's the verse that talks about 2 or more gathering in God's name. The fact that, again, me and my homeboy, just 2 of us, made that entire movie happen with the exception of the editing and the little things that we outsourced for. We made the entire movie. We were playing every character. We got together, just 2. And you guys can see the fruits of what 2 can do. Obviously we know more fruit of two gathering together obviously is procreation. That's another, huge example of what two can do, and things of that nature and whatnot. And so I know there's verses in the Bible that talks about, two being better than one and things like that, because then you'll be able to pick each other up and things. So no, it's not good for us to be alone. That was established in Genesis. Christ or God, however you want to look at him at that time, said it is not good for Adam to be alone. Therefore, he made Eve. Things of that nature. And so there's something to this, y'all. There's something to this concept again of gathering, fellowship, and things of that nature. And we should take it a little bit more seriously. Another thing that crossed my mind this morning is I know we are all in this habit now. Families aren't really hardly gathering together anymore. Y'all know over the past years or whatever, I've come to you all and shared a lot of announcements about different family members that we've lost over the past few years and things of that nature. And that's the main time where I'm seeing certain family and whatnot. So, at the funerals and stuff. And it's like, man, like, can we get together for something else? Like, you know what I'm saying? Can we just get together for brunch or something? You know what I'm saying? Like, why we gotta get together? The only time I see y'all is for the funeral. You know what I'm saying? At some point that really started to bother me. You know what I'm saying? Because then I'm looking around at the family and trying to figure out, not say trying to figure it out, but it's crossing my mind about who's next. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't want to, at some point I didn't go to a couple of people's funerals because I just didn't want to go through that. You know what I mean? That feeling. I just wanted to celebrate life. I just wanted to, honor them or whatever in another way. But then, but I just didn't want to deal with that thought, and so, I commend, like, for example, my mom's side of the family, they put together a Christmas gathering coming up soon. And honestly, it's the first one that I know of on that side of the family in a while. And so, yeah, that's just one of those things. I mean, honestly, when you go to the Go Deeper section, I literally just put in there, hey, think of some, additional ways that you can gather outside of just Thanksgiving, right? Outside of just, a holiday or whatever the case is. Now, obviously, again, there's something to gathering every Sunday or Saturday, whichever one you establish for, you going to church. There's something about that as well. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to share with you guys the things that the Lord has brought to my attention this morning. So let me give you guys some verses. Hebrews 10:25, it says, not neglecting to meet together as the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. So here I am, I guess, trying to be an encouragement that we should gather together all the more. We do see all the crazy things that's going on in the world. There's lots of reasons to, especially as believers, get together, because again, if you stay isolated and then you just surround yourself with like things on social media or watching the news or whatever, all that type of stuff, and things that are outside of God and his will and way and stuff like that, you're not surrounding yourself with like-minded believers and things of that nature, you're going to find yourself not just questioning faith and things like that, but you're going to find yourself doubting faith. You're going to find yourself, sitting here wondering like, oh, are these people right? Because that's all you're going to see. The enemy is going to definitely present all the negativity of the world, and then, and make you think that that's the majority. And at the end of the day, sure. I mean, again, the Bible says itself. I feel like we talked about it the other day about broad is the way and everything like that. So in some ways, yeah, it is the majority to see and hear evil and things of that nature. But God still has his remnant. You know what I'm saying? You're not alone to have morals and values and things of that nature. And so that's why we should get together as believers and be consistent and make sure that, hey, the thing I love about Mountain West, and I know I told you guys before, but a friend of mine was pointing it out yesterday because she had asked me about the church and whatnot. And so I just sent her the website. And she's like, wow, I love how diverse your church is. And I'm like, yeah, that's one thing I love about it as well. This whole separating us by, races and all that type of stuff. I don't think that's right. I think that, we should look like what heaven looks like. And at the end of the day, there is a variety of people in this world. And what Christ did was for each and every one of us, and not just one group versus another. So in that regard, again, that's something I love about the church that I'm attending. I don't know if you should use that as a encouragement and inspiration for if you're looking for a church home or something like that. But it might be something you should think about, because at the end of the day, again, if you have any type of little prejudices and things like that in your heart, just because somebody looks different than you, talks different than you, all that type of stuff, then that might be something you need to repent of. Because, I guess you'll be surprised to get to heaven and see all kinds of people, so, that's just something to think about, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, that's, I don't know. Like I said, that just came into my heart and mind, because again, one of my friends pointed it out yesterday about the church that I go to, and everything like that. Shout out to Nandaba tuning in, saying good afternoon. Good. It was still morning on my end, but yeah, good afternoon and good morning, good evening, however you want to say. Thank you for tuning in live. But yeah, y'all, let's not neglect to meet together. That's the point. And the Bible says too, as in the habit of some. Yes, some have the habit of feeling like, again, they don't need to do it and X, Y, and Z. But there's just, again, so much power in that. Another thing I love about the church I go to is that they have these small groups. They're very adamant about, creating small groups, hosting small groups, all this type of stuff. And I think that's great as well, is getting these groups and whatnot together of people, like-minded, again. And then for activities aside from church as well, even yesterday I was doing, I think it was like the second the gathering. It might have been the second or the third, I can't remember right now, but the young girl that was doing the production with me or whatnot, because at some point I host, and then once I turn it over to whoever's going to teach or whatever, then I usually come back and help out with production and things like that. And so at some point she started to ask me, she just was like, oh, what's your favorite song? And so we just kind of started chit-chatting and stuff. And I was finding out more about her, as an individual and things, and more about her home life and stuff. Because she was saying her favorite song was something that her parents talked to her about, which might be a controversial song or whatnot, and everything like that. And it just was good to get to know her and fellowship a little bit more with the people that are serving in that, the room with us. And again, and her as a young person, and to hear, her heart and mind and whatnot regarding things. And so that's all I'm saying, y'all. A lot of these relationships and stuff that we feel like we're lacking, or we feel like we're missing in our life, is because we're not taking the time to fellowship with one another. We're not taking the time to talk to one another. We're not taking the time to get to know each other and things of that nature as well as getting to know the Lord. But that's on a whole nother level and whatnot. But yeah, speaking of getting to know, it looks like Nanaba has a question. So you can go ahead and ask your question, and I'll do my best to answer if the Lord's will. All right. While I wait for that question to come in, let me give you guys another verse. And it is Acts 2:46. It says, and day by day, attending the temple together and breaking bread in their homes, they received their food with glad and generous hearts. Again, I think there was some verse, it wasn't this particular verse, I guess, but there was some verse in the Bible that referred to them even gathering together and I guess eating together in the churches or something like that. Like, just imagine, right, a community like that, that's that close to say what it is. Hey, let me come on, we're gonna come over to our house, or you can come over to my house, and whatever the case is, you're fellowshipping with your neighbors. Again, I done got to know my neighbors a little bit more, so I can give y'all that testimony. Finally, the neighbors across, I gave them a couple of gifts from Mom Bomb and just kind of had a little conversation with them, stuff like that. But we not really getting to know each other the way we could and should, right? And so, yeah, the thing is, friends, again, we need to just take time getting to know each other, sharing, breaking bread. And imagine, again, like, let's say we all get on hard times, but we all can bring a dish. You know what I'm saying? Because we know each other, we close, we're good. Everybody bring a dish, then you got a whole meal that everybody can enjoy and share together. So, just things to think about, y'all, when it comes to this fellowship thing. I got one more verse to share, but I see Nanaba has asked the question. So let me, I don't know. Then how about this? How about this now? Because I want to focus on your question. So let me wrap up the juice, and then I'll come back. I'll answer your question best of my ability. I'll and in the moment until I do that, I'm just gonna seek the Lord on what to say, the wisdom and whatnot. Let me give you guys this last verse that I have for the juice, and it's Matthew 18:20. It says, "For where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there am I among them." So again, I gave you the example of what that looked like for our movie. I gave the example of what that looks like when a husband and wife comes together and create their child. All these different type of things, y'all. Again, there's power in the gathering, so don't forsake it. We need to be doing it more, especially in these last and evil days. And I guess that's the juice. That's the juice this morning. The Bible verse of today is Psalm 25:5. It says, "Lead me in thy truth, and and teach me, for thou art the God of my salvation. On thee I do wait all the day." Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye.
Did you know that you can support us for just 99 cents a month? That's right, friends. You can support everything that we do here at GSL for just 99 cents a month. Take a look around wherever this post is. You might see a link or maybe even a button that says support. Go there, check out the options, consider supporting us because, we enjoy bringing you all the daily inspiration as well as the weekly talk show, but we have much, much more to come. Thank you so much for the consideration. Bye-bye.